I've told the story a million times. The phone call from your coach. Uh, Explain that moment. What happened? What time was the call? Tell me what was going on that day. What was going on before you got the call?
Yeah, so something not you're actually probably the first person I'm like really telling this to, and now the public's gonna know. But um every year since I had my knee surgery on my patellar tendon, so for the past 10 years, every year I get like an annual checkup on my knee. I go and get an x-ray, and just to make sure everything's good and intact. And I was actually at my knee doctor office and got my x-ray, and this is our team doctor for the North Carolina Courage, by the way. And first thing he asked me as soon as we sit down after my x-ray, we're sitting in his office, and he's like, have you heard anything yet? Because he knows what's going on, because he's obviously in the
Right.
mix of the soccer world and knows that we're waiting for this phone call. And so yeah, he was like, have you heard anything yet? And I'm like, no, I haven't heard anything, but keep my phone right by my side on loud, waiting for Jill Ellis to call to let me know if I'm making the World Cup team. And so he's explaining to me like how my knee is doing. He only gets into like the first few sentences of how my knee is doing, and then my phone rings, and he doesn't know it's Jill Ellis. And so I'm looking, and I see that's Jill Ellis, and he was like, do you need to take that? I'm like, yeah. And I answer, and I'm like, hey, Jill. And I just I hear him and see him in sort of the corner of my eye, like sort of an abrupt movement, and like turn around and looks at me really quickly, because he knows who it is as soon as I say, hey, Jill. And I'm on the phone, and Jill Ellis is like, hey, Jess, how you doing? Good, Jill. How are you? Good, good. And it's just like this awkward silence, and I'm sweating right now telling this story. And she's like, you want to hear your answer? I'm like, yeah, of course. And she was like, you're going to the World Cup. And as soon as she said that, oh my gosh, I have goosebumps right now. As soon as she said that, I just start bawling, crying. I'm just bawling. And she's talking still. And I have no clue what she's saying at this point, And then like I'm finally able to like, sniffle some snot back into my nose. And and she told me at the end of the conversation, I heard the last part of it, and she was just like, this is, what makes my job so amazing is, these moments with you guys as players. And just hearing you on the other line, or on the other side of the line, it's absolutely amazing. She was like, go hug your son, go tell your family. And she was like, congratulations. And I'm still crying, obviously. We hang up, I'm crying, and my team doctor, he gets up, and he gets up, and it was like one of those moments where it was like a little awkward between us, because he's watching, obviously, my life, literally one phone call, and he knows how big this is, and so he comes up to me sort of awkwardly and like gives me this hug, and he's like, congratulations. So it's kind of nice that someone was actually there to witness that moment with me, because like it was just such an incredible moment. He congratulated me, and he was just like, don't worry about your knee, it's fine, we'll talk after the World Cup, go win you a World Cup, and congratulations, get out of here. And that was, that's it. I'm crying coming out of his office, and then there are people working at the desk thinking I'm sad because I'm crying, and there are people like in his office, they're like, it's okay, you'll be fine, no, blah blah blah. And I'm like, no, these are happy tears, oh my gosh, these are happy tears, I'm fine. So yeah, walk out, and then I probably cried for like another hour before I made phone calls. So
So
and you happen to have been one of them, my
yeah,
friend.
I know. When you called me, you didn't even say anything. You just crying. I'm like, I totally forgot it was the day that you were gonna find out.
Yeah.
I knew it was coming up, but you called, and you're just in nothing but tears, and I didn't. So many things were going through my head, and I was totally not thinking of that. I was thinking of the worst things possible, which I won't mention. So I was thinking horrible thoughts, and then finally you said that you made it, and and it was awkward, and I'm like, because I've never heard you cry before, And so I'm like, all right, okay, I'll talk to you later. And then of course after, and I'm outside, outside my office, and there's no one there because it was like 7 in the morning. I think you called me, or 8. I can't remember. Seemed early, maybe not. Um, and I remember just screaming, in celebration, like yes, you know, over and over and over again, and no one's there. I'm there by myself, so I'm like, all right, I'll take a cold plunge now. But yeah, it was surreal, and it, you know, all the things that had to happen for you to even get that phone call of, of good news. And I wonder if that phone call of good news would have happened if you didn't have the game winner to help the U.S. women's national team get win number 500, score with no time left. I don't know how many times you've done that throughout your career, but all the little things you had to do to make this happen. And that's what's amazing about your whole career, and that's why I keep on talking about you, is like, I can't wait till someone with intelligence can tell your story through a movie, which I'm very excited about if that ever comes to fruition. But it's definitely a movie script, that you would think it would be manufactured. You don't have to manufacture this one. A lot of true stories you have to like manufacture things. There's so many things that happen in your life leading up to this that you don't have to manufacture to make the story better. So that's what's really cool about it, and it'll be fun to watch. So, thank you so much for joining me on episode 500. I think that's so cool. You spent some time with me. Luckily, the quarantine keeps you home, so you have no choice but to take my phone call because I know where you're at. You
Yes.
you can't leave. So speaking of quarantine, before I let you go, how you dealing with it? Where do you